So, I've heard a lot of newcomers express frustration when going up against Cid.
Cid! Cid's too powerful.
Oh yeah, I'm barely getting anything.
Oh, come on, Cid!
He's just waiting to lock in a tire. Well, look at that! What am I supposed to do?
With a kid focused on locking out opponents and accumulating massive points, Cid can quickly run away with the game if you don't know how to handle him. So today, we're going to talk about how to beat Cid. Okay, in order to hold our own against Cid, we need to know how his abilities work and what he's good at. First, let's discuss his special ability. Cid can lock his current platform and prevent anyone else from changing its color. He can even override previously locked platforms. This ability is really good on single column areas as it can lock out opponents from gaining any points or special meter, leaving them helpless. His ultimate is an even better version of his special in that it locks an entire row. Now, in Jimpala, you gain points when platforms are destroyed, usually by falling off the bottom of the screen. The points you gain also build up your special meter. You can use your character's special if you have at least one bar of special meter, and you can use your character's ultimate if that bar is full. Every character has a different special cost, or SP for short. Cid's SP cost is 3, meaning that it takes 3 points for him to gain 1 bar of special, and 12 points for him to have enough for an ultimate. So, if Cid ults on a row full of 1s, that's a guaranteed eventual 7 points, but it also means that Cid will gain a little more than half his special meter back. But if Cid can lock a row worth 12 or more points, he's guaranteed to have enough to use his ultimate again. Chaining ultimates in this way is what makes Cid so powerful, and why he can be frustrating to play against. So what can you do against this seemingly unstoppable powerhouse? By the way, if you haven't tried out Jimpala yet, there's a free demo for it on Steam, see the link in the description below. Also, if you could wishlist the game on Steam, that would help us out tremendously. So let's examine Cid's disadvantages. Perhaps the most obvious is that Cid has no offensive or defensive abilities, meaning he has no way to defend himself against aggressive characters like Lola or Frore. Another disadvantage is that his special ability is fairly slow to execute. If you're playing against Cid, you want to make him afraid to use his special, and punish him whenever he does. If you're playing Lola, this is pretty easy, since your attack will come out before Cid's lock finishes. Just stick to him like glue and make sure to space yourself correctly. You can also punish him as Frore pretty easily if you're positioned well, and Reese's hyperspeed will knock him out of his special as well. Of course, a lot of players will hold off from using Cid's special, and instead save up their meter and try to chain ultimates. Cid's ultimate is a bit harder to deal with because he'll be invincible until he lands with it, although it's often worth punishing even if he'll still lock the row. You actually want to proactively prevent Cid from using his ultimate, and this requires knowing what rows are best for Cid to try to lock, and stopping him before he's able to jump to that row. Also, both Frore and Bomber have ways to reduce the effectiveness of Cid's ult by breaking the row. So Reese doesn't really have good options when combating Cid's ult, but there's still something that can be done, and actually can be done by any character as long as you're behind in points. Anytime you're behind an opponent in points, you can challenge your opponent to a wager and bid your special meter against theirs. The winner of the wager steals 5, 10, 15, or 20 points from the loser, depending on the difference in the number of special bars bid. So, if I have a full meter and choose to wager Cid here, he has to choose between bidding all of his special so that he doesn't lose the wager, or losing the wager so that he can use his ultimate on the row, and it's virtually always better to use it in the wager. Also, Cid can be wagered as soon as he lands from his ultimate, so you can punish him hard for ulting, or at the very least, scare him out of using his ult on a particular row. In general, knowing when to use your special or ultimate versus when to save it for a wager is crucial, especially when you get into more high-level matches. You don't want to end up in a situation where your opponent forces a wager and you can't win or tie. So, to sum up, Cid's a very good character, especially if he starts chaining his ults together, but he's not without his disadvantages. You want to punish him every time he uses a special, and prevent him from using his ultimate, either by disabling him before he reaches the row, or wagering him out of it. Alright, now you know how to handle Cid. I hope this video is helpful. If you haven't checked out Jimpala, again, there's a free demo for it on Steam. please see the link below, and most importantly, please wishlist it to know when it's released later this year. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.